Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Brandon Wynn, and this is Critical Failure. Now to be honest, this is my third time trying to record this because each and every time something had happened, so. The Abishai, which is what this video is about, is Tiamat's little specific demons, not demons, devils, that she controls. They have their own hierarchy and stuff like that, and very rarely do other archdevils actually use them. Only Asmodeus actually uses them, and these little guys are completely loyal to Tiamat and to Asmodeus, more so Tiamat, I would say, and they like really don't mess with anyone else. So that's what I would say, just straight out of the bat. So this is completely about making them into a player race, into which I've already gave them statistics and stuff like that. So I'm going to start running through that, and you'll note that there are some differences between it being given the stats in Mordenkainen and Tome of Foes versus how I made them, to which I'll even discuss these changes and reasons why. So these are going to be, I'm going to start with like all the things that every race, I mean sub-race, because the different colors I'm going to essentially call those sub-races, but all the sub-races will get. Their base speed will be 30 feet and their fly speed will at least be 40 feet, because two of them have a fly speed of 50. They get natural dragon armor, into which it's basically when you as an Abishai are not wearing any armor, you get an AC of 8 plus dexterity plus constitution. So whatever that number may be, it could be really good, it could be really bad. You could potentially have a really good armor class for your character. You have a dark vision of 120 feet, and your statistic modifier would be a +1 in Constitution. Your size would be medium, and your abilities would be something called Devilish Nature, which I made this up, and it's essentially because you were a devil and you're not killed on the 9 hells, you would be you would have the ability to reform in a couple places. 1, on your DM's discretion, wherever the heck he or she may want you. 2, in Tiamat's palace, or in the closest cult of Tiamat's location could be, where it's like wherever he puts it, you're there, you respawn there, in a matter of 1d4 weeks that your DM will roll for you. They are all immune to fire and poison and the condition of poisoned, and they have resistances to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. And then I put this as a legitimate thing, to where if you are playing outside of it being lawful evil as a alignment, because I don't play with alignments, it's regardless of what Tiamat or Asmodeus wants, you have to obey it. Even if you're a lawful good character, you have to do it. If you're a chaotic evil character, you have to do it. So that's how it is. So you're able to play however you want, but you have to do whatever Tiamat or Asmodeus wants you to do. And then you're able to speak Draconic, Infernal, and Telepathy, into which the way I have Telepathy set up for this is that essentially you're only able to speak telepathically with Asmodeus and Tiamat, and that is through all the multiverse wherever you are, and you're able to speak with other Abishai, but they have to be within 120 feet of you. And then you have Devil Sight, into which essentially magical darkness doesn't impede you whatsoever. You see through it as if it's nothing. So yeah, screw darkness spell. The Black Abishai. This one has a +2 to dexterity and a +1 to constitution. They have something called Shadow Scales, to which they have proficiency in stealth, and they have the advantage on all stealth checks when in dim light. And I gave them something called Shadow Stealth. Actually, no, this was already in the book. I'm sorry. This is Shadow Stealth from the book, into which they have, while they're in dim light or darkness, they can take the hide action as a bonus action. I was meaning to say that I gave it to this from the book. They have magic resistance, and they have Devil Sight, like earlier. They're immune to acid, and they have innate spellcasting, which I changed this from the actual book, to where once a day, or again, I said once a day, once per short rest, they can cast darkness within 120 feet of this, like within the creature, and it can be moved up to 60 feet as a bonus action. Doesn't need components whatsoever, but I changed it from the actual book. The book had it to where it was called excuse me as I turn to the page. it was called Creeping Darkness, which essentially did the exact same thing. But I just changed its name. But the difference is that instead of it being a once per short rest, it was a recharge of a d6 die roll of 6. So that's how it originally was. Now, onto what classes they would be good for. I would say something that involves stealth heavily, like rogue, ranger. I would say even like monk, something like that. Blood hunter, druid. You know, it's really up to you. So, onto the blue Abishai. I kind of imagine these guys being wizards based on how they were talked about. So I made it much more of a wizard class. So they have an intelligence modifier of +2, a constitution modifier of +1. They have innate spellcasting, to which they can get 2 cantrips of their choice from any spell list, and a level 1 spell of any spell list of their choice. High suggested firebolt and eldritch blast for cantrips, and then a first level spell of inflict wounds. They have a fly speed of 50, and that's where that fly speed really goes in hand. And they're immune to lightning. They can be any magical class that you choose, because you know, they're essentially, if you read in the book, they're more or less like focused on magical stuff and learning knowledge that could destroy any of Tiamat's enemies and stuff like that. So that would be very useful. But they can speak Draconic, Infernal, Telepathy, like I stated earlier from the beginning, and 1 other language of any race that you choose. So getting to learn an extra language because you are intelligent as hell. And then there's the green Abishai, which is basically copy-paste, but instead they get a +2 to wisdom, and they have something called Caustic Veins, to where if your character is attacked by a slashing weapon, so something like a longsword, the attacker is sprayed by poison from your body, and that's if it hits. And they take 1d6 poison damage and have to make a DC save of your Constitution modifier +10, or to avoid being blinded. If they fail, they're blinded for 1 minute, and they can redo the saving throw on each of their beginnings of their turn. And it takes an action if they do at the beginning of their turn. They can speak Draconic, Infernal, Telepathy, and 2 other languages, and the reason for this is because they're, like, to me, the ambassadors of everyone. They're more meant for speaking to people and stuff like that, and get what they want. So that's what I'm taking it as. And I see these guys being like druids, any magical class, bards, mostly bards. That's how I kind of see them. The blue Abishai and the green Abishai are essentially copy-paste for me. So I don't really mind if you switch anything on them. It's really up to you. Then there's a red Abishai. I kind of like the black and the red Abishai the most. The red Abishai has a +2 to strength, a +1 to constitution. Excuse me as I burp. And they have something called Insight Fanaticism, to which I took this directly from the book, but altered it a little bit. To which I'm going to show you what I wrote for it versus what it was in the book. So for mine, it's once a day you can select up to 2 allies within 60 feet of your location, and they have advantage on all attack rolls for a minute, and they can't be frightened. Now, for what the book says, as I take the book out and turn the page, excuse me, they have it to where you have to see the character, or yeah, you have to see 4 allies with that, that are 60 feet from you, and essentially the same thing from there. So I essentially just had it to where 60 feet around you instead of seeing, it's just around you in general, and it's 2 allies instead. And I did something similar to another power of it, and I called this one Tiamat's Leader, or Leaders, and to where the original I'll describe, and it's the exact same the way as last time, to where this one's to where any dragonkin, so dragon, kobold, dragonborns, like this is anything that has dragon blood coursing through it, that you can see within 120 feet, must make charisma saving throws of a DC equal to 10 plus charisma plus proficiency, and become allies of yours for up to 24 hours. So why did I do this? Because I found it really cool. Now, how it is in the book Mordenkainen and Stone of Foes is it's called Power of the Dragon Queen, and it's the Abishai targets a dragon that it can see within 120 feet. It must make a DC save of 18 charisma, and it's a saving throw. A chromatic dragon would have disadvantage. And on a successful save, the target is immune to the Abishai's power of the Dragon Queen for an hour. On a failed save, the target is charmed by the Abishai for an hour, and while charmed, the target regards the Abishai as a trusted friend to be heeded and protected. The effect ends if the Abishai or the companions attack the target. So you can see the very big difference between the two, very obviously. But I didn't see it as like a big thing, because I don't experience you like really going up against dragons for any reason. But then there's Infernal Bite, which I made up, and I find this to be really cool because, you know, devils are constantly searching out for demons and trying to keep them at bay. I had to where this is called Infernal Bite, and whenever you're speaking, any creature that is demonic, that is in the space of 30 feet of you, will take 1d4 psychic damage. And the reason for that is essentially these guys are constantly on the hunt for like demons, and their very words, even if like they're not casting any magic, can hurt a demon, and like they'll like writhe in pain and stuff like that, and be very obviously like a demon. And the red Abishais have grown to realize that they have been able to do this. So that's what I figured would be a really cool idea, because you never know when your DM is going to have a demon pop up out of nowhere and just try and follow you. So yeah. But these classes that they could be like a war cleric, a fighter, a gunslinger. Imagine that, a gunslinger dragon. Could be a paladin of any sort. Like, you know, I just find it really cool. These guys just seem to be really cool. They're like literally the leaders of Tiamat's armies and stuff like that. And last but not least is the white Abishai. These guys have a very big boost to their stats, and it's a +2 to strength, a +2 to constitution, but they have a -2 to intelligence. And the reason why is because the way I read them is essentially they're more like barbarians. They're not very intelligent and stuff like that, and I see them as essentially being Grog from Critical Role's first campaign. And I gave them the ability called Savage Intent, into which when this creature is attacked, they can take a reaction to make a attack action, which is slightly different from the book. From the book, it was, I think, called Vicious Reprisal, and for that one, it's in response to taking damage, the Abishai can make a bite action against a random creature within 5 feet of it. If no creature exists, it'll move half its movement speed towards an enemy that it can see without provoking opportunity of attack to attack that creature. I just put it to where it's like, as a reaction, you'll just take an attack action against a creature. And I gave it something called Blitzkrieg, which I did not think of this name very hard. But essentially, when this creature attacks enemies that haven't actually had their first turn of combat yet, this creature could do an extra attack action against them. So if you only have like one attack action the entire time, you can use 2 against creatures that haven't been able to go yet. I could see these guys being like druids, barbarians, any fighter class, really any class but magic. So that's kind of how I saw them. I did research these guys from Mordecai and Stone of Foes. It's a really good book. I'm glad Ed let me borrow it. I've wanted to make this as a player race for a couple months now, like since I actually got to read Mordecai and Stone of Foes from Ed. It's a really cool class, race. And these guys just are really, really cool in general. So I really, really want to play these guys someday, and I would love to see what you guys do. If you have any like issues, or like would like to include something into the like one of these races, or the race in general, please comment in the doobly-doo down below what you would change. I have a contest on Critical Failure that's ending, critical.failure on Instagram, that is ending in a few days, because sadly no one has messaged. But you get to possibly name a homebrew creature that I'm making. And if you guys go on our Instagram and look for the picture of a skeleton, a scorpion, and a picture of a demon, if you figure out what I'm making from that, you have the ability to name the creature, and you will be shouted out and given credit for naming the creature that I have created, and I will be using that creature in my campaign. So that's what's happening. I'm hoping that my Sigurd of Katarina NPC character essentially will be able to go up on DM's Guild soon, because they have essentially copyrighted everything, and I completely understand that, so I'm not mad about it. But I've changed everything from copyright issues, and they're still telling me that there are problems with it, so I've been trying to deal with that. If not, I'm just going to publish it somewhere that I possibly can, and give it to you guys so you can use it. And I have another thing for you guys, into which I'll be posting this on my Instagram also. I will be giving stats to the gods of a specific mythology, including the demons and stuff like that, of that, like monsters, that already don't have stats in D&D, and that is between the Norse, so Viking mythology, and the Greek gods, so like Zeus and stuff like that. And that is up to you. Comment down in the doobly-doo, or on my Instagram, critical.failure, or wherever the hell you might be able to get in contact with me. My email is brandonwin5730@gmail.com. If you want to comment there, like send me a reply, or send me a message like how you would do it, please go ahead and do that. I actually check my email daily, multiple times a day actually, into which you can give me like advice on what to do when it comes to these, or like how would you do this, or simply just give me like an example of what you would do, you know, like, or even video, like types of videos you would like to see on this channel and stuff like that. I have a couple like ways to do it. I know I'm going to be starting with the demons here soon, because I'm running out of ideas, and I'm going to be doing a demons channel. I'm already making demons, and I have a demon lord that I'm making. I know that in the world of Xenornfell, which is the world that I'm currently going to be running for this YouTube channel, I know that I have the Norse, Greek gods, and the gods of the already established D&D, so like Tiamats and stuff like that, are going to be in this campaign. Demons and devils, of course, are going to be there, so can't wait to have this actually start. So, you know, like, subscribe, please comment down below what you would like to see us do, you know, comment which you would like to see us do for Norse or Greek gods first, to which I'll be giving stats, remember that. Please comment the name for the creature that I am doing, or at least guess, because I would definitely like to have that, at least have a couple comments on it before the contest ends, and I'll just name it something myself. So yeah, please do that. I don't think I have much of anything else really, so yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tomorrow I'm going to be able to like edit this a little bit to where I can do other stuff, so yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, night, whatever the hell it is, and keep rolling high. And again, I'm Brandon Wynn from Critical Failure, so auf Wiedersehen.